Hello, Open Door Capital and BetterLife team. My name is James, and I think I could be the person to help you build the future of this company um, using detailed data analysis and sound marketing practices um, based on what I've seen. So hopefully I can speak to you in a way both from the heart and in a combination of what I've written here. I've taken some notes I might refer to. But in the event that we decide that I'd be a good fit for the BetterLife team, um, the very first course of action I would take would be to discover what are the current challenges based on the current customer feedback loop might be in terms of data ingestion, how we're following up with the customer, and so forth. Um, so be looking at the current feedback loop based on market research as it stands currently, how the current systems are in place at BetterLife. Number one, I would look at the systems that are in place for data collection. So this consists of taking the steps to mitigate inefficient and inaccurate feedback. We want to surface a clean signal of the customer data that's coming in so we can best decide on how to pivot and where to pivot, and take in data that we can trust, right? So without clean data, just like in engineering, which I would consider to fall under the roles and responsibilities of the product manager, the team will inevitably struggle to iterate on the intended product. So if the current feedback channel is also hard to use for the customer or not intuitive, then the channel would prove to be less than adequate for the company's needs. So number two I have here is I would seek to ensure sufficient analysis of our data being collected and the tools that we're using to do that, specifically the feedback and extracting data such as unique insights, trends, or patterns, which will in turn enable the company to make important decisions on the fly. And should we prove to be a good fit, in addition, one of my biggest priorities would be to increase customer participation and ensure adequate customer representation. So looking at, what's the current scope of the customer base that you're reaching, the target demographic, evaluating day to day, are we using the right tools to reach the right people at BetterLife? And at the end of the day, I believe in people. And so I would also place a premium on human interaction over automated tools. We all love ChatGPT. There's a lot of buzz around AI and tools. I'm an engineer. I have a software background as well. And I love it. I love technology, right? Who doesn't? While I recognize that automated tools can be efficient and effective in many ways, they can, however, never replace the feedback that requires human insight. I've seen time and time again, based on personal experience building products and just from reading, right? There's something to be said about genuine human interaction, and people love that, right? If I'm on the phone with someone, or if BetterLife is using a product where it's hard to get in touch with a human being, or maybe they're talking with a robot and you miss an opportunity just because there's a lack of human connection there, and that's a lost opportunity to grow stronger as a company and grow stronger for your user base. So I would consider that a large part and responsibility of my role, and to seek out bias. So seeking out bias interpretation in our ranks and eliminating the skewed data in our data set. So being able to identify bias and filter it out to mitigate the data that we have on hand, and to mitigate any skews in our data that we collect from our pipeline. And in addition to that, as a matter of course in my duties, I would ensure that the data collected and the insights it provides would result in actionable strategies that customer relations would employ. So for instance, we could strategize on, for example, empowering the team with scripts or certain certain tools or practices to put in place to handle one-on-one customer interactions or group customer interactions, and address the most prevalent issues that the data provides, and provide a solution. So, and our research doesn't end there, right? There's a lot of, part of my skill set that I think I bring to the table is being to put out fires. So I'm never one to shy away from getting new certificates on different tools or continuing self-education. You know, if it comes to HubSpot, if it comes to talking with other innovators in the area or other third-party tools, or even in-house developers to build their own in-house product to take BetterLife to the next level. So to expand upon that, when we say putting out fires, right? With regards to the fact that the needs of the customers are going to change from day to day. So you need to have someone leading a team and building a team that can respond to those changes on the fly and decide on the best way to tackle that day to day collectively. So I regard the responsibility of the product manager to constantly keep pace with these evolving needs, because there's some points where I'm sure, as you know, there's no playbook to certain instances that might happen when it comes to making decisions on how to scale and be consistent with customers and hear them and what they want incorporated in the products and speaking. That's actually the final piece here. So communication, I'm gonna wrap up with communication because that's what I feel like is the most important role, whether it comes to communicating with the customer or even with your team. If you can't communicate, there's no synergy, and the company will be set adrift with no actionable course to be profitable. So keeping clean communication is key. And these are the notes that I had on hand here, but I'd like to take the time to thank you and the team for watching the second video upload. So I look forward with interest to discovering whether or not we're a great fit for each other, and I look forward to hearing from you in the not too distant future. All right, thank you, Open Door Capital and BetterLife team.